Hey everyone, welcome back. I want to talk about a new boat, and before I even talk about this boat, um, Wargaming. I don't know who made this camo, but this was on this boat. This makes me want to throw up. Oh, this is brutal. So let's first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just let's leave it in. It's more colorful that way, right? I'm gonna talk about the Pensacola, which is affectionately known in the game as the Pepsi Cola. I personally have struggled with this boat for years. I have some clanmates, one in particular is the replay after this, and I'll talk about the history of the boat as Mr. Lomax plays. He's very good at it. I just struggle. And I'm going to show you why. I just want to start off with the armor. This boat is squishy. It's only got 25 millimeter front, 25 millimeter. You see, it's all 25, and 13 millimeter. This is even lesser than, say, the Mino and whatnot. And the gun thickness is only 25 on the sides, and the front 65. These guns can be knocked out very, very easily. It sucks that way. So again, angling is important in this game. When you're playing, lower tiers, not so bad. Tier 4, tier 5, tier 6, yeah. Tier 7, tier 8 battleships in particular. You can be deleted in this boat at the higher tiers, tier 6 and above. Tier 6 and above. You can be deleted in one shot from full health. So again, be very careful, and I'll show you why some things you can do to mitigate that. Survivability for me, I have it set up with extra bonus captain skills. I'll talk about them in here, but I have 35-7. This doesn't get a heal, and you're going to need as much health as possible. So that's my view. Especially people like me who are not great at this boat, but it is fun to play. Mr. Lomax has got me back into it. Mr. Lomax has actually got me back into my clanmate several boats. This is where she shines her 203s. They are not wimpy 203s. You can Citadel a tier 6 Aoba, a Freitaka in one shot broadside. You can take it from full health and delete it. You can get 3, 4, 5, 6 Citadels, especially in close range. Ideally, 8 to 12 kilometers, this thing is deadly. She also has, because I have the flags for it, you'll see my fire chance is 17%. Destroyers, ships from far distance, she only has a range of 15.7. You can actually drop HE shells on everything from cruisers to battleships and whatnot. So it's a great boat for that. You can actually set a lot of fires, and if they try to shoot you, switch over to AP and then pop, hit them. One of the downsides, and I have a lot of the bells and whistles on this, her turret time is 45 seconds. I do have it down to 32.6, but that's a whole lot of captain skills and other skills. But again, the turrets are the slowest, so make sure you understand what side you want to be on. And reload time is 15 seconds, so make sure you understand what shells you want to shoot. Her secondaries aren't that bad. They're basically 5-inch guns, 127 millimeter. There's 8 of them on there. I have mine set up for the typical 5.2 kilometers. You see a destroyer, it loads up and starts shooting. It's not a Massachusetts or something like that. You're not going to be taking out boats, but fire chance is 11%. If you're kiting away from a DD, you can physically start setting them on fire, which is annoying for them. A defense is okay for this boat. I'm going to say okay. It's not great, but she can with priority sector, especially if squadrons are low late in the game. If you have that issue, you can actually light up a good squadron. Sorry, taking a bit of water there. You can actually take out a squadron that's about half squad or so. So it's not bad. It's just not great. That's typical in World of Warships. Her maneuverability is quite good. She's got destroyer turning circus of 620 millimeters, rather. That's like a destroyer. She can turn. I don't take the rudder shift because I'm happy with it. 7 seconds either way is pretty good. And her maximum speed with my speed flag is 34.1 knots. I've got concealment down to 12.4. It's about a kilometer higher than I like, but I can't do about that. She does have a defensive penalty of 8.4 kilometers firing smoke. This is one of the worst at tier 6, so she's not designed to hide in smoke. If you get in smoke, you're doing it because you want to run away and you want to turn away your concealment inside of a destroyer's smoke. My captain skills, I have Ovechkin, which is a specialty captain because he's got the pretty shells. Again, I have the grease the gears as best as possible. She's squishy, so I take last stand. I know it's usually on destroyers, but I take it on this boat because you can get, if you're trying to cut away, even a destroyer can actually sometimes do some damage to you. I also take incoming fire because I want to know what's going to shoot at me. I can always get an alert. You gotta pay attention to this boat, what's shooting at you. Since I have a Vetchkin, I get increased ship survivability experts, an extra set of HP. I also up here take pyrotechnician because I want to light the things up, light the ships up. Again, adrenaline rush, can you start shooting lower, and then of course concealment, the best you can get. On equipment, I took hydro. You can have a defensive AA. If you're gonna play randos, fine. Play operations, take this. But I still take hydro no matter what because you're very susceptible to torpedoes. Standard main armament modification. Again, I take engine protection because she's very squishy. And then I have the, again, main battery modification to keep it even lower. And this is what I have. I had the propulsion system. I do not take the rudder shift because I'm happy with it. And you're going to get fires anyway. But I take propulsion modification. This increase in speed allows me to start and stop, especially if I'm at almost max distance on a battleship and trying to light the battleship up. I do have all the upgrades on here to help out. And that's pretty much the spec'd out of the Pepsi Cola. I hope you guys enjoy the replay. And this camo, wow, Wargaming. That's all I gotta say is wow. Alright, let's talk about the Pensacola, USS Pensacola in history. This boat was, I'm trying to find a battle in World War II in the Pacific she actually didn't participate in. She did quite a bit, even suffering quite a bit of damage in one of the battles herself, but coming back and kicking more proverbial butt. The USS Pensacola, the cruise United States Navy in service from 1929 to 1945. Her eventual ending, which I'll get to, which is Operation Crossroads, is awesome. But we'll get to that near the end of it. She was the lead ship of the Pensacola class, obviously, which Navy classified from 1931 as a heavy cruiser and heavy cruiser a set of ships. The third Navy ship to be named after the city of Pensacola, Florida. She was nicknamed the Grey Ghost by Tokyo Rose. Japanese in World War II hated this boat, and when you hear the rest of the history, you can see why. She did receive a total of 13 battle stars for her service during World War II. Now, one thing I did say about the Pensacola in the beginning, talking about what you can do, is her 203s. Now, my clanmate, I decided to hit one of his replays and then show this. I know it's bots, but it doesn't really matter, and it'll show you what it can do. And don't forget, this is not a tier 19 captain or 21, or this is a low tier captain, etc., etc. This is just a really well experienced boat. As you can see, the turrets are really slow to turn. So you got to make sure you pick your size you want. But I'm going to sit back and just show in commentary about what he does here. Because he shows up a whole lot of Citadels in this game. And I mean a lot. We have a little joke in our clan. We call it, well, I'll get to it in a minute. This boat with full broadside on all turrets and all barrels, you can take out one of these cruisers in one shot from full health. You'll see that a bit later in the game too. Or if nothing else, you're going to decimate it. And bye-bye. Citadels, that cool, refreshing drink. That's a joke we have. Yeah, like that. The Pensacola did depart Pearl Harbor on the 29th of November 1941, right before Pearl Harbor itself was attacked, with the so-called Pensacola Convoy bound from Manila in the Philippines. After the attack on Pearl Harbor, the convoy was diverted immediately to Australia, entering Brisbane Harbor on the 22nd of December. Pensacola returned to Pearl Harbor on the 19th of January 1942 and put to sea on the 5th of February to patrol the approaches to Samoan Islands. On the 17th of February 1942, she rendezvoused off of Samoa with carrier task group 11, built around the Lexington. Near Bougainville Island, Pensacola gunners helped repel 2 waves of Japanese bombers on 20th of February. A number of ships were damaged. Anti-aircraft fire Lexington combat air patrol planes shot down 17 of the 18 attackers. The Japanese fleet was decimated. And here he goes again, a little more AP. The other thing about this boat, which you're going to see later on, is, like I said, it's squishy. But, you know, the old expression that the meme of the guy with the bruises on his face and the lumps and the fist up in the air with the worth it. When you know you're going to win the game, you've got all the taskings in it, and this operation we're playing, charge. Mr. Lomax does play a little bit aggressive like myself, so sometimes it's really fun. And he's got that really funky space camo. One pock shot. Even when she doesn't Citadel, you're still looking at anywhere from 3,500 to 4,700 damage, and sometimes you can get that times 2, times 3, so you can end up with 10,000 damage or 9,000 damage on a boat. Destroyers, definitely you want to use HE, but again, if you have AP loaded, fire. She's got enough turrets and enough bells and whistles to do the damage. After all that with the Lexington, the Pensacola departed Pearl Harbor on the 20th of May with the Enterprise Task Force for a rendezvous on the June 2nd northeast of Midway with units of Task Force 17. You know it's coming, the Battle of Midway. The Yorktown, hit by 3 bombs, was fighting for her life. The Pensacola actually left and raced from the Enterprise screen to aid the stricken carrier while trying to assist the Yorktown. The ship was struck by a torpedo and hit in the galley. Yorktown was dead in the water when Pensacola arrived. The cruiser assisted in shooting down 4 enemy torpedo bombers during the second attack. I believe she got them all, and if she hadn't, she would have taken another torpedo. And we did lose the Yorktown, but not through spite of trying to keep it alive. She did participate in the battle for Guadalcanal, the Battle of Santa Cruz Island. She helped guard Enterprise during the naval battle of Guadalcanal. She was badly damaged by a torpedo in the Battle of Tassafaronga. I hope I said that right. And she was extensively repaired off back at Pearl Harbor. It took a while for her to get there. She did participate in numerous battles from 1943 when she came out of repairs to 1945. And I'm going to list them because, wow. Like I said, I don't know where she wasn't in the Pacific Ocean. This boat got around like a well-oiled sailor. And somehow that didn't sound right, did it? We'll now sip a little more of the Crown Royal. Normal guy of the North does drink Crown Royal. Ooh, nice shot. That's the HE. And with the lighter cruisers and destroyers, you can't Citadel destroyer, but you can actually Citadel Akuma or a Tier 4, Tier 5. I've seen even Tier 6 and Tier 7s get Citadel at close range with the HE. It's brutal. So during her time from 1943 to 1945, she participated in the invasion of Tarawa, the Gilbert Islands Campaign, the Marshall Islands Campaign, battles for Kilowajan, I hope I said that right, if I didn't, and Majuro Islands, the Battle of the Aleutians, because hey, we're in the South Pacific and then we'll head north, the bombardment of Wake Islands, Marcus, and Bonin Islands, invasion of Leyte Gulf, and Battle of Cape Ingo. The Battle of Iwo Jima and the Battle of Okinawa, sorry. Like I said, ooh, Citadel. That cool, refreshing drink. That feels so good, doesn't it? And the Battle of Okinawa, like just to name some of them. The best thing about this boat is she participated at the end of the war. She did a little bit of, I think it was Operation Magic when they started bringing people back, but not much. She's a cruiser. She's not an aircraft carrier or a transport, so she did a couple runs. But in Operation Crossroads, the Pensacola departed San Pedro in April to stage with units of the Joint Task Force 1 at Pearl Harbor in preparations for Operations Crossroad. Oh, he did it again. The atomic bomb experiments, these were for the atomic bomb experiments in the Bikini Atoll. She sailed out of Pearl in May and reached the Bikini Atoll 9 days later to serve as a target ship. She survived the tests of July 1st and the 25th of July. Yep, Japanese Navy couldn't sink her. Atomic bombs couldn't sink her. On August 24th, she was taken in tow to Kilauea where she, I keep saying that name wrong, where she was decommissioned the 26th of August. Her hull was turned over to custody of the Joint Task Force 1 for radiological and structural studies. On completion of these studies, her hull was sunk on the 10th of November, 1948 off the Washington coast. Yep, 2 A-bombs couldn't sink her, Japanese Navy couldn't sink her, had to do with demolition charges. Like, come on, that's pretty amazing. And here's the part where my clanmate just is like, yep, I'm taking out the Fuso. And he is going to charge in. You're going to see later on this game, especially in close range, you get under between 10 and 8 kilometers, even down to 7 and 6 kilometers. If any cruiser gives you a broadside, a heavy cruiser, you are going to Citadel it tremendously. After he kills the Fuso, which he concentrates on to make sure we actually win and get 5 stars, then he decides just to have fun. Every time I watch the end of this, I start laughing. I've tried to make a couple recordings, and I start laughing because I'm right behind him, so to speak, doing the same thing, but kiting the other way, going after the other battleships. Anyway, like I said, this boat had a great operational history. I am surprised she was not kept as a war museum with that much, but of course, neither was the Enterprise. So, and the Enterprise was the only aircraft carrier in the Pacific that started the war and ended the war. So that's a bit of shame. But hey, the USS Pensacola, was not a wimpy boat or a wimpy crew. And I'm not sure if there's any battles I can think of in my research that she didn't participate in. Well, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed the video and the replay. I hope you had some fun. I hope you have a good summer. Depending on when you watch this video, it could be the winter. But for us up here in Canada, it's summer. We just had Canada Day. Other than that, I want everyone to take care, stay safe, and always have fun. So, bye for now.